Chocolate milk and reindeer games. It's my favorite holiday. And stockings filled up to the brim. I got my favorite ornament. This year I'm so fortunate. So I left some cookies out for him. With all this love I see in town, bloody toys to go around. I'm feeling bright just like the snow. Home is where the family is. I'm crossing off my Christmas list. There's just one thing I'd like to know. Santa, can you groove with me underneath that Christmas tree? Everybody dancing in the place for us to be. I can hear them sleigh bells ring. Christmas time is everything. I just wanna know, can you groove with me? Santa, can you groove with me underneath that Christmas tree? Everybody dancing in the place for us to be. I can hear them sleigh bells ring, and Christmas time is everything. I just wanna know, Santa, can you groove with me? Santa, can you groove with me underneath the Christmas tree? Everybody dancing in the place for us to be. I can hear them sleigh bells ring. Christmas time is everything. I just wanna know, Santa, can you groove with me? Santa, can you groove with me? Everybody dancing. I can hear them sleigh bells ring. Christmas time is everything. I just wanna know, Santa, can you groove with me? Can you groove with me? Merry Christmas, y'all.
Morning and welcome to Dania Highlight. Today we have 9 games, all of them are singles, and we also wanted to let you know that there will be a special performance tomorrow, Monday, also at 1 p.m. and also singles. We'd like to thank you for joining us, and this broadcast is brought to you by Better Care of Broward Medical Center. They speak English, Spanish, and French. They accept all insurance and welcome walk-ins. Visit their primary and family practice at 599 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Better Care of Broward, your local choice for all your medical needs. Today's uniforms are proudly sponsored by IGT and Every, together built to win. Dolphin Jewelers, treat yourself or someone special with jewelry from Dolphin Jewelers, right down the street at 52 North Federal Highway in Dania Beach. They buy, sell, repair, and trade all types of jewelry, even custom designs. Mention Highlight for a special discount at Dolphin Jewelers. Our media coverage is powered by TPI, driven to connect, and for all our Connecticut fans, place your Highlight wagers at mywinners.com, the #1 betting outlet in the state of Connecticut, mywinners.com, where Connecticut bets on Highlight. And also a special welcome for our friends on YouTube. We hope you enjoyed today's singles performance.
You gotta give it away, give it away, give it away to the ones you love.
Hello to all our YouTube fans. I am sitting here with the man himself, Benny, the man who saved Highlight, and that is not an exaggeration. Benny, good morning.
That's an exaggeration, Dave.
I do not think so. I've been around
I haven't
this
opened
game
up
a
the
long
chat
time.
today, but when I came up and I told Mike to turn on the mics, he told me there's only 29 people watching right now.
It's early yet, and it's Sunday. Everybody's still moving around from their Saturday night.
It's not just Sunday; it's Super Sunday.
Yeah, but yeah, there's football going on. There's a lot of competition.
Oh, there's
out there
34
today.
people now. A couple of
we're
folks
rolling.
joined in.
That's like a 22% gain. You got to look at it.
Did you do your opening already?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
we're all
good.
set.
We got a couple of minutes to chat. So how have you been, Dave? Tell us about your wonderful experience doing. How many games was it yesterday?
19 games yesterday.
19 games. How did that feel?
And look, I don't want to pretend that this is like breaking big rocks into little rocks. There are a lot of people who work a lot harder than that.
Right.
But the thing about this is you really do have to be paying attention the whole time. Because the second you're not, something happens. Both teams walk off the court, and you're going, okay, who won that point?
Right.
And you look like an idiot.
That has happened to me.
Yeah, well, it has happened to everybody who's ever announced this.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, what you got to watch out for is like show point.
Right,
because
right,
both
right.
teams are going off.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the fail-safe is one team stays stays on, one team goes
Yeah,
off.
we put up some bad prices in the past, and that's what scares me. Even when I'm down there scoring, like I'm the one that's hitting the official button, and I will wait because normally somebody in the audience will scream or something. Hey, bad wrong, you know. I mean, you haven't done any mistakes, and Dave is really
Knock
secure
on
with
wood.
it. He's really secure with it. So, but sometimes I get comfortable, and then I catch myself, and I'm like, you know, but years ago, Marty Fleshman had this rule when we had 3 referees that whoever's sitting in that chair scoring the game had to wait until the last referee, the backcourt referee, went into the room, because that gives you roughly like 45 seconds before you hit the button. And you check the book, you check the scoreboard, you check what the announcer put in, and then you go ahead and hit the button. But yeah, it's scary when you look down. I'll tell you a little secret, and I don't know, I see you have here on the computer the results to put them in, and you have the music to play between games. I would have the YouTube feed running in the background here, and sometimes when I would miss something, I'd just be quiet for a second, and I'd double click so it goes back up, and then I would rewatch the point. So
the fans will let you know.
That's a
Either
little
YouTube
trick of
or
the
live.
trade you might consider.
There was a point yesterday where, you know, the two of them were literally at the one line, and I couldn't see them at all.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't see what was going on at all. And the one guy catches it at the one line and could have thrown it right through the other guy. And I'm like, oh, God, this is how people get hurt.
Yeah, you know, it's
I don't
funny
even remember
because
that point, and he just flipped it up. But I had no idea who won the point.
I think I know the point you're talking about, and somebody said to me, it's like, hey, I don't you know, think they're respecting the gentleman's rule of like, if I'm in your way, don't kill me. And you know, my answer was like, yeah, I don't know if any of these guys attended that class.
No, he did. You know, if I'm at the one line, please don't throw it court tight. It reminded me of you throwing tomatoes at Johnny Knoxville.
Oh yeah. It's funny because the other night, you know, these guys are young. They're 20, 21 years old, and they came in and they said, hey, was that you that was throwing, I guess they were watching it at home, and was that you that was throwing oranges at Johnny Knoxville? And I said, yeah. He goes, wow, we didn't recognize you. We thought it was you. I had hair.
You and Eddie, what's his, Eddie
Fernandez.
Eddie Fernandez.
It was Adam that works with us here now. Eddie Fernandez, myself, and Charderon, a French kid. I felt bad for Charderon because the other 3 of us hit one of the other, you know, either Steve-O or Johnny Knoxville, and Charderon threw probably like 20.
He never hit him?
He didn't hit anybody. I felt bad for him.
But I'm watching this, and I'm like, they had to get Eddie and Benny to throw this? I mean, these are 2 of the hardest throwing guys.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
mean,
I felt bad for him. Like Adam, my good friend Adam, he wanted to hit him as hard as he could.
And Adam.
And you see that. And you see that in the video. But the funny thing was, these guys came up to me the other day and they asked, was that you? And I said, yeah. And they thought it was super cool. And I told them, hey, I have some home video because Adam's wife was there and was filming, you know, with her VHS cam at that time. And it was funny because we uploaded that video to YouTube, so it's out there on my YouTube page.
I mean, I can't. I mean, they could have really genuinely got hurt if that had caught him along the spinal column or something like that.
Well, in the home video, you see because the home video is like almost 2 hours. No, maybe let's say an hour long, whittled down for YouTube. But you know, at first they wanted to throw.
I think they wanted to get in on the broadcast.
No, that was for you, man. They always wave afterwards.
That was the sound of the ball hitting the announcer's booth window, which neither of us jumped, but usually you do.
No, I jumped.
Did you?
I didn't
Okay.
see it coming. So at the beginning of the filming, they wanted highlight balls thrown at them. And Johnny Knoxville insisted
real highlight
balls.
No,
and
that's
we
insane.
told them, listen, and then Fernandez and Adam went out and started warming up, throwing the ball around, and they pivoted. They said, wait a second, let's see if we can let's throw fruit.
Yeah.
And so the guy ran across the street to the supermarket. He got like some limes and lemons and oranges and apples, and the ones that came out of the basket best were the
Oranges, right?
the oranges.
Yeah.
So
'cause
I hope you don't mind. I mean, with game 1 is starting, super singles, a couple of extra superfectas. Not a lot of people watching. I'm going to kind of monitor how the betting goes and all that. But I hope you don't mind. I'm going to hang out up here for a little while today.
That's fine.
I'm not going to interrupt. I'll leave you alone.
No worries.
While you're up here doing your thing. All right, guys, enjoy the show. 64 people watching. Hopefully everybody's just either eyeballing football at the same time if is there football on, and they join later on. But I'll answer some of the questions. I'm going to go through the chat now. I took a couple of days off from the chat, but
Do you remember the world's fastest tomato?
it was done here, wasn't it? The Tomato
with
Festival
with
people.
Dave Barry.
Oh,
Because
no.
Dania used to be the home of the World Tomato Festival
Yeah,
or
the
something. So
Tomato
Dave
Fest.
Barry
They
decided
still
to
do
do
that,
the
just
world's
not here.
fastest tomato with Chaz.
Right,
And he
right.
stood behind a plexiglass window, and Chaz was just throwing tomatoes at it.
Oh, that's awesome.
that was in the
I'm sure
80s
I
at
have
some
pictures
point.
of that
Yeah.
somewhere in my house. All right, guys, enjoy the show. We'll be back. We'll talk some more smack the rest of the afternoon and answer any questions if you guys have any. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Dave. Do your thing, man. We'll talk later.
Awesome. Here we go. Game one, it's singles, 7 points. Spectacular 7 scoring, all points doubled after round 1. Serving in the red of post 1, Libois. Receiving in the blue of post 2, Chanika. There's a serve, and we are underway. Scooped up. Point 1. Amet's in the white of post 3. Another winner for the 1. Now Garcia in the green and post 4. Scooped up midcourt by Garcia. Garcia throws for Chichak. Save is not quite made, point 4. Black at post 5, Donnell. Another point for the 4. Now Argoitia in the yellow at post 6. Point 4. Brown at post 7, Salaya. Too high, another point for the 4. We complete round 1 of game 1 with a tie in the purple at post 8. Kept alive by Garcia, time moves in. Point 8. All points double now, returning in post 2, Chanika. To the first double point. Returning in post 3, Amets. Kept alive by a Mets. Janika moves in, throws for Chick-Jack. Catch is made by a Mets. That's off the court, 2 points for the three. Brings back the one, Lipois. Two-wall rebote caught on the wood. The Mets is there. Double point for the one. Donnell returns in post 5. Just short, 5 with the double point. 6 returns, Argoitia. Chula, 0.6. Now the 7, Celaya. Point 7. Back in post 4, Garcia. Point 4. Four on serve to 8, the time. Two more for the 4, 8 points and possible game point for Garcia in post 4. Serving to Chanika in post 2. That's out of play, double pointing game to the 4. 1 is second. Now begins a 5-way playoff for show in 4th position. It begins with post 3 serving to post 5. Two all scores for the 5. Here's post 6. Six scores that point. Here's post 7. A point for the 7. Chanika back in post 2. Two all winner, point 2. Ahmed's back in post 3. Two more for the 2. Brings back Donnell in post 5. Point 5. Argoitia back in post 6. 6 with that point. Celaya back in post 7. Point 7. On we go with the Mets in post 3. Point 7. Celaya with possible show point in post 7, serving to the 2, Chanika. Seven gets to show. Now we have a 3-way playoff for 4th position, 5 serving 6. 2 is on deck. Off the court, point 6. 6 serving 2 with possible 4th place point. Point 2. Now the point for 4th, 2 serving 6. Six is 4th. Winning game 1 in post 4, Garcia. 2nd in post 1, Libois. 3rd in post 7, Celaya. 4th in post 6, Argoitia. The 1-4 Quinella, $15. 4-1 exacta, $43. $2 trifecta, 417, $338.60. Dollar superfecta, 4176, $1,016.20. Up next, you guessed it, singles, game 2. No changes to make in game 2. Okay, we're back here in the announcer's booth at Dania Highlight on this special singles Sunday, and once again we have the man. Benny is here with us.
Yeah, look who's out there. Number 96 is making his return from his broken hand. You can go ahead and put the results in. I'll chit-chat because I'm going to answer a couple of the questions
here.
Go for it. We made a nice jump to 166 people watching now, so that's nice. And there's actually some people in the audience, too. I don't know if they know. They'll find out in Game 3 that it's all singles today, but we'll find out. I'm reading that there's an issue with my winners showing the superfectas, I think, in Game 1 and 5, which are the extra 2 superfectas today. And whoever answered the phone said that they weren't notified, but I could tell you that Randy, our mutuals guy here, sent everybody an email letting them know, and copied me on all of those emails and made sure that the tote companies knew. And so, yeah, they should have known. Hopefully they can get it taken care of before Game 5, but if they don't, hopefully they can get it taken care of for tomorrow's matinee. I hope they even know we have a matinee tomorrow because if they didn't know that there were superfecta games, they may not know that there's a special matinee on and we're good friends with the people at My Winners. They're some cool guys. You know, I talk to them often and share ideas and thoughts. Another question is Johan and Gorka ever coming back? Oh, I sure hope so, man. I miss them already, but they're playing a tournament in Spain, in Guernica, Spain. They played last Monday and they lost, but they have one more match tomorrow, and they're playing against, I believe, Oresti and Lopez, and they have a tough match, and they're going to play on Monday night over there, which is Monday afternoon over here, and then they're hopping a plane Tuesday morning, and they will be out of the program all day Tuesday, but they will be making their return on Thursday night, getting back into action. And as I said, Oyunar is making his return back. He had a broken hand. He had surgery. They put a little screw in there. You know, he's an athlete. He's been training, and he's been practicing with one hand for the last 3 weeks. And so it worked out perfect that he was ready to come back today and play all singles. And Oleron has a day off, and Campendeghi has a day off too. And I see some people that are happy that Campendeghi has a day off because he dropped so many balls that he needs a rest. But I can tell you this, he wanted to play both today and tomorrow, and I didn't let him because the reason we're doing this is because I want the players to get a day off and rest with this extra Monday matinee. So, yeah, half the players are off today, and the other half of the players are going to be off tomorrow. The players that are playing today obviously will have Monday off, and vice versa. And that's pretty much it. We don't have many questions. You know, a couple silly comments. I like that. I think that that's what this chat is all about. Trust me, if any of these comments were negative enough to aggravate me or anybody above me in the company, they would have disabled this chat a long time ago. So we encourage the enthusiasm, whether it's positive or negative. I gravitate to the positive, so the guys that think that, you know, saying negative things
Last call for betting game 2
are going to bother anybody, they obviously don't know me well.
Well, I want to put in a word here for my boy Campendeghi.
Yeah.
He
Feel free, because you don't work enough to see him every day, but you do work enough to form your own
to see his
objective
growth.
opinion.
And I was here the first weekend he came in, and it was, I mean, it wasn't pretty. He was lost on the court, and you know something, this is not an easy court to get used to.
Yeah.
I mean, especially
I
to
hated this court when I played here.
Everybody who played at Miami
I
hated
couldn't
this
stand
court. But yeah, I mean, he's what, 20 years old?
Yeah, he just turned 20 years old right before coming out
And he's
here.
got some pop in his bat, this
Yeah.
kid. He really does. So once he gets it figured out and figures out where to stand, it's not so much that he's dropping the ball. It's just that he's not in the right place. And
Right.
once that starts to feel natural,
Right.
he's going to be a real
and
player.
we've talked about that. I've talked about why, I mean, again, I don't dwell on the negative. I try to build on the positive. But I have been telling him, a couple of pointers to get him in position sooner. He's fast, so get in position sooner. Don't be running when the ball's coming at you. Get there first, stop so your eyes are not shaking, and catch the ball.
Well, it's also, those are things you have to think about. Once
Yeah.
they start to come naturally,
Right.
then he's going to get there. The basket's going to be up instead of putting it up at the last second, which I see him doing that a lot. I mean,
Right.
it's very hard to catch the ball if you're snaring at it.
Right.
If the basket's already there waiting for it, you have little adjustments to make.
Right.
If you're throwing it up at the last second because you're out of position, you're probably not going to catch it, or if you do, it's going to make that rattle around
There
sound
you
that
go.
we're also
just
familiar
watching
with.
him a couple times, you figured it all out.
There we go.
All right,
start
let's
game
rock
two.
and roll. I'm going to go grab some lunch, so I'll be back in a couple of games, and we'll continue to chit-chat, and I'd be more than happy to answer any of the questions you guys got. Enjoy the show.
Game 2, singles, spectacular 7 scoring, serving in the red of post 1, Argoitia, receiving in the blue of post 2, Garcia. Game 2 is on. Down the wall, Garcia holds it in. Point 1. Celaya in the white of post 3. Point 1. The green of post 4, let's welcome back Oyenard. Long 2-all is off the court, point 1. Black at post 5, Libois. Very clearly interference. We're going to replay that point. Let's try it again. Post 1, serving to post 5. Two-all rebote snared on the wood. Inside throw. Also caught very nicely. Rebote comes out. Swung into play. Vergoitian moves in. Two-all, clean winner, .5. Yellow at post 6, Chanika. Six on the board, brings out the brown at post 7, the Mets. Too high and out of play, 7 on the board. We complete round 1 with Donnell in the purple at post 8. Two-all rebote for the Mets, another point for the 7. Double points the rest of the way with post 2, Garcia. Long Tejada. That'll work. Double point for the 7. 3 is back, Celaya. Two points for the 3. Post 4, Oyenard. 4. Back in post 1, Argoitia. Point 4. Libois back in post 5. Point 5. Here's the yellow of post 6, Chanika. Six with the double point. Danelle back in post 8. Clean to the inside, 2 more for the 6. Brings back the 2, Garcia. Winner down the wall for Garcia, double point to the 2. Ahmed's back in post 7. Point 2. Here's post 3, Celaya. Down the wall for a winner, Garcia with 2 more. Garcia with 6 points, impossible game point in post 2, serving to post 1, Argoitia. Kept alive by Garcia. Excellent save by Garcia. Argoitia goes deep. Perfect throw, not going to get that one. Point 1. The 1 now takes a turn with possible game point, serving to Oyenard in post 4. Double point in game to post 1. 2 is second, 6 is third. Game 2 wins post 1, Argoitia. Second in post 2, Garcia. Third in post 6, Chanika. The 1-2 Quinella, $17. 1-2 exacta, $38.40. 1-2-6, $2 try, $177.80, and the double, a 4-1, worth $97.80. Game 3 is next. Oh my goodness, it is singles. A 9-point game with superfecta betting available. Just a few minutes to place your bets on Game 3. All right, we are back with Benny, and he's here to discuss today's proceedings. What do we got going on, Benny?
Benny and Dave. Every time I come up here, no matter who it is, it's Benny and Dave. Not much, man. Just watching the games. I went down, and like I told you, there's a long line at the grill. A lot of people buying sandwiches and food, and we got the employee menu, which the guys take advantage of every night, and we were talking a little bit.
I haven't
about
had a chance to yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It really is good.
Yeah. It's good and cheap and excellent. But looking here again at the chat, there's a little more chatter. 169 people watching now. Let's see if we can get it up to 200.
We're getting there. Listen, it's
but
growing
that includes
exponentially.
me.
By the end of the day, there'll be 300,000 people on
Well,
there.
it's funny. I've noticed that. We usually have around 150 to 180 people watching live at any time. But then you go tomorrow morning and you look and there's 2,500 views. So I guess,
Well, people stop in. They're not going to watch for the whole time, or they're checking
and I think
results.
that a lot of the people that are living in Spain, France, and all that over there in Europe, they probably pick it up while we're dead asleep. But let's see, what were some of the questions? I know I was looking at it. A lot more Campandegi chatter, a lot of haters out there, but it's all good. You're entitled to your opinion.
telling you, you're gonna
I do
eat
want to
those
address
words.
like Mr. Kirkpatrick. He's always saying the same thing, and he's saying that effort. He shows nothing, no effort. I don't know, man. I think we're watching different channels. I mean, are you watching the same YouTube channel? I think that Campandegi, when he's not busy dropping the ball, he's running all over the court trying to catch it and get to it. And I don't know. I mean, listen, you're right. I brought him in, so I will defend him, and I will defend all of these players. But
Well, I didn't bring him in, and I will defend him. He's 20 years old. Remember, tried Mr. What was his name?
Huh?
What was the gentleman's name who was talking about Compondeg?
There's a couple. Kirkpatrick,
Mr.
Charlie,
Kirkpatrick,
Barry.
do you
they all
remember
hate
when
him.
you
they
were
all hate
20
him? And look, we're just going to go ahead and acknowledge the fact that you hate this kid, okay? But you're obsessed with them because you only comment when he does something wrong. But we're going to go ahead and acknowledge that and move on. Go ahead. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Well, can you remember when you were 20 years old? I couldn't find my you-know-what with both hands.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different time. It's a different time when I was 20 years old. It's funny. I was talking about. I'll give you a perfect example. I mean, we were talking. I was talking with an old friend about a story there. One time on a Saturday night, I came out to play, and I had a pretty good day, but I was exhausted. I was beat down, tired. I mean, my good friend Adam, who's sitting just 20 feet away, will if we ever get a mic in front of him, he'll confirm the story that Saturday nights is a heavy night to play highlight. And so a fan sees me the next day and he says, "Hey, you played like crap last night. What's your problem?" And I said, "Well, let me ask you a question. Were you here at the Tuesday matinee?" And he said, "No." I go, "Were you here Wednesday night?" "No." "Were you here Thursday night?" "No, I only come on Saturday nights." Well, that's the problem. I've played 7 performances. I'm above 40 games already, and you come and criticize me on my 45th game.
Last call for betting on Game 3.
So the point I think I'm trying to make is when are you seeing this lack of effort? I mean, we play a lot of games. The guys are tired. This is not trying to defend them. There is no player that is on this roster right now playing less than 40 games a week, which in my standard, it's over. Perfect schedule.
That's an insane
That's
load.
insane. The perfect schedule for the week is 35 to 37 games. Anything over that is exhausting. And even people in this building that I work for will argue that, well, what's the difference? It's only 5 or 6 extra games. It makes a difference. Trust me when I tell you. So anyways, that's the rant about the effort part.
No, listen, that is the one thing that I cannot question here. The effort from these guys is as good as any effort I've ever seen. Now, you can argue talent, you can argue ability, skill, experience. Those things are all up for question. Effort is not even slightly in question, at least not in my mind. These guys played for 4th place point like they're playing their hearts out. Now, it may not appear that way to you because everybody's personality is different.
Yeah.
Everybody reacts differently, everybody moves differently. But trust me, these guys are trying, especially Compondegi.
Yeah, and let me tell you, for a guy that's sitting in the cage scoring the games, for a group of guys that are showing very little effort, they sure do kick and throw shit a lot after they lose the point. So maybe they should, I don't know, use that energy for good. One last thing. Thanks for the comments on Tiger's site. Yeah, I engaged last night. I second-guessed myself if I should even get involved with people commenting about serving and players. But before I was discouraged from doing it from certain people, but now I don't care. What are they going to do, fire me? I'm going to speak my mind, and if you guys have an opinion, I'll counter it with my opinion. And sometimes we may agree. All right, let's get this game started. I'll be back, though. I'll be back, and we'll
All right,
talk
here we
some
go
more.
with Game 3.
No highlight in Orlando. Orlando highlight is not coming back, at least not to my knowledge.
Game 3, it's singles. Spectacular 9 scoring. Serving in the red of post 1, Leonard. Receiving in the blue of post 2, Vicente. Game 3 is underway. Two on the board. Serving to the white of post 3, Argoitia. Point 2, green at post 4, Salaya. Out of play, another point for the 2. Brings on the black at post 5, Immense. Point 2. Yellow at post 6, Donnell. Point 2. Five in a row for Vicente in post 2. He will now serve the 7, a time. That is off the court. 7 scores that point. We complete the single point round with Libois in the purple at post 8. Point 7. Double points the rest of the way with post 1, Leonard. Two more for the 7. Argoitia back in post 3. Point 7. 6 points and possible game point for a tie in post 7. Trying to stop him post 4, Salaya. 8 points, impossible game point for a time in post 7. Serving to post 5, Immense. Tejada, he's there in time, lifts it to the backcourt, caught. Scooped up in the front court. Too high and out of play. Point 5. Brings back the 6, Donnell. Back in post 2, Vicente. Point 2. Post 8, Libois. Point 8. Now the 1, Oyenard. Point 8. Post 3, Argoitia. Got to play on the side wall, 2 more for the 8. Celaya back in post 4. Off the court, point 8. All right, this will do it. Game point, post 8, Libois serving to post 7, a time. Winner of this point wins the game. Point in game to the 7. 8 is second, 2 is third. Fourth place point, 5, serving 6. Tejada. That'll score. Fourth place goes to the 5. Winning game 3 in post 7 at time. Second place to the 8, Libois. Third in post 2, Vicente. Fourth in post 5, Ametz. The 7-8 Quinella, 71.40. 7-8 Exacta, 138.20. 7-8-2 Trifecta, 1,010 even. And the $1 Superfecta, 7,183.50. 7-18.35 per dime. Coming up next is game 4. It's a 7-point game, and it is singles. Game 4 singles coming up. Just a few minutes. We're back again with Benny. Benny is here. What do we got?
That was awesome, man. I always, Dave does the same thing. He's, pounding away at the keyboard, putting in the results, and I say, "Come on, man, fly me in. I'm ready to talk." And then, but you just made it simple. I'm back.
Right. Benny's here. Here he is.
Okay, here we go.
Say something.
All right, so I'm going to try to make these 4 minutes that I have to chat as efficient as possible. And I want to touch on that. The last comment I made about Highlight coming back to Orlando. I haven't heard the rumor. I haven't heard it, so I can't say that. I'm pretty in tune with things that are going on in the industry. I know some of the people up there that that were running the show when they were playing. As embarrassing as for some it might have been, but some of the pari-mutuels, what they're doing is they're running their minimum performances as just with fear that if they don't, the license will be revoked or expired or whatever it is, and they don't want to take that chance in case something changes in the legislature in the coming years. So maybe it's coming back, but if it's coming back the way it's been, then that's the reason that they'd be doing it. Okay, my friend Charlie here, he wants to know how I came up to pick up Camp Pendeghi. It's a long story, but I'm going to try to condense it for you because now I'm down to 3 minutes. So last year, when the season's going on, I got a lot of stuff going on, and like I mentioned before, and I even mentioned it in my post on Tigers, I don't look at the stats, I don't look at the scoreboard, I don't look at anything above ground level when I'm watching the games, okay? Meaning I look at the players, I look at their mechanics, I look how they move on the court, I even look at the way they wear their uniforms, okay? I don't care who wins the game, I don't care how they win the game, I don't care what the combinations are. Some people get mad at me because they call me on the phone and they said, "Hey, what came out in game 5?" And I have to run somewhere to find the results. I don't look at the results. I don't look at the stats. Having said all that, during the season, I just watch the games. Then when the season ends, my phone starts blowing up from different people from all over the world that want to come and play here. And at the same time, I honor the players that just finished the season here. So most of these players that are here now will get an invitation to come back. And I say most because, sometimes they don't want to come back. And sometimes, maybe they didn't do good enough to come back. But I don't really look at that. What I look at is how much better is the player going to be the next time they come? So to the point of Campendeghi, somebody early last year, right after the season, started telling me, you got to look at this kid. He's 19 years old. He's got a good future. He needs to go play games so he can get better. And they start sending me video. He's not the only one. Dozens of players send me videos. I have at least half a dozen players from France that send me videos I'm not going to say every day, but once a week they'll send me video of them playing. So I started seeing a video of Campendeghi, and I saw one match in particular where he was playing with Eric, and he was playing against, can't remember the front quarter, and in the back court it was Bilo. So his opponent was Bilo, basically. And he played great. He played really well. He missed some balls, of course, but he played good enough. And then he started playing. I spoke with Eggy Gurin, which I'm sure that anybody that knows Dania's history knows Eggy. He's running the show over there as the second company. Oh my God, I'm out of time. Anyways, he sent me a text saying, hey, we're going to work him into the partidos. We're going to get him some experience, so maybe you would consider him. And then in the 11th hour, a player that was supposed to come and play here named Portet told me that his girlfriend or his wife, I'm not sure, was having a baby, and that he wasn't going to be able to come. So after seeing all the video of Campendeghi and knowing that he's 19 years old and he has a good future, I made the decision to bring him. And now he's here in the developing stages, and as I said in one of my posts earlier today, I'm going to be patient with not only him, but with everybody else. Okay. Adam says leave him alone, that he's okay.
And it takes
I'll
almost 3
continue with the
minutes
other
to say his
questions,
game,
right
to say
after
his
this
name.
game.
Game 4 singles, spectacular 7 scoring. Garcia in the red of post 1 will serve to Lidwa in the blue of post 2. Game 4 underway. Deep 2-all. That'll work. Point 2. White at post 3, Vicente. Didn't quite get there. 3 will score that point. Green at post 4, a tie. Once again, picked along the wall by a time. Point 3. Black at post 5, Salaya. Point 3. Yellow at post 6, Oyenard. Vicente on the outside, sends it deep. Picked out of the air by Oyenard. He'll try it again. Rebote saved by Oyenard. Vicente up close. That'll work. Point 3. Brown at post 7, Chanika. Didn't quite get there. Another point for the 3. Completing round 1 with the purple at post 8, Argoitia. Another point for the 3. As we begin the double point round, Vicente with 6 straight single points has possible game point, and he will serve to Garcia in post 1. Vicente for Chick-Chack, kept alive by Garcia. Double point in game for Vicente in post 3. The 2 is second. Now begins a 6-way show playoff. Teams players will play a pair off. We begin with 4 serving 5. Hard fought point for a tie in post 4. Well played. We move on with 6 serving 7. Too high, point 7. 8 serving 1. Point 1. 4 will serve 7. 1 is on deck. Point 7. 7 with possible show point, serving 1. Long Dehada. That'll score. 7 is third. Winning game 4 in post 3, Vicente. Second in post 2, Libois. Third in post 7, Chanika. The 2-3 Quinella, 2160, 3-2 exacta, $31. $2 trifecta, 327, 211.80. Up next, game 5. Why? It's singles. 9-point game with superfecta betting available. Game 5 coming up next. Benny is back, ladies and gentlemen.
There
It is
you
time
go.
for the Benny
That's-
Show.
You're doing the greatest job of flying me in ever.
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
Oh, you're going to bathroom break?
Oh yeah, it
All
is
right.
time. The
I
run
got
down,
it,
the
man. Go
old
ahead. Do your
customary
thing, man.
run down the hall.
Do your thing. Don't forget to wash your hands, though. And hurry back. I miss you already. Yeah, man, listen, I'm trying to participate in the chat. I don't know how you guys do it, man. I'm a slow typer, and, you know, every time I try to dictate my answer, Siri changes it on me. Anyways, so yeah, the question was, who was my favorite backcourt partner? Geez, man, all of them. I mean, I played in Miami in the mid '80s, man. I mean, I can't think of one I hated playing with. Soroa, Zaria, Asin, Larea, all of those guys, man. Salazar, every single one of them was always there when you needed them. So, but Zaria and I had a special bond because he was a really good friend of mine on and off the court. So we played in the Citrus, I believe it was '92 or '93. We lost in the playoff, and then we played together in, I forget, another tournament. It might have been one of the NAJF qualifiers or something like that. And he was just a funny guy, so I love playing with him. Daniel and myself played really well together. We grew up together in the North Miami school, and then, you know, years went by where we, you know, also grew very close together personally. So it was always a pleasure playing with him. A question about Hartford. I mean, not Hartford, which was, I think, the best, most competitive roster in the past 50 years. That's hard to say, man. Yeah, there's a lot of good rosters. I'm embarrassed to say I don't really know the 70s and 80s roster from Bridgeport very well because I was going through my own stuff in Miami, so I wasn't really looking closely at what was going on there. But from what I hear, they had a phenomenal roster back in those days. And the funny thing about the Hartford roster, which you mentioned being one of the most competitive of all times, was funny story, and you could read this. It's in my book, which would be coming out in a couple years. But there's a story from 1985 where they invited me to join the Hartford roster. Berenson, what's his name? Rich Berenson Jr. Invited me to join the roster, offered me a great deal, 3 years, and a lot more money than I was making in Miami. And they somehow worked it where there was a month-long tournament in Milford, 1986. It might have been 1985 because I had just gotten married. And so I show up at this tournament in Milford, and I go and I practice with Edgar Bide. He came out and threw some balls with me. He had just recently retired and become the player manager there. And I knew who he was because of all the tournaments and championships he won in Dania, but I never saw him play. But practiced with him, had a great time, and then Mr. Berenson was in my ear like, hey, check it out, look at the neighborhoods, come up to Hartford, see if you like it. And I was like, yeah. I was truly entertaining it. And then the first matinee where I had to play this Milford tournament came up, and I was having breakfast with
Last call for betting game 5.
having breakfast with my wife that we had just gotten married, and getting ready for the matinee. So I finished eating breakfast and I go downstairs, and when I get downstairs to my car, it's snowing. And I went back upstairs and I told my wife, I'm not signing I'm not signing that contract in Hartford. I don't like the snow, I don't like the cold weather. So that ended that right there. But that roster was definitely, I was a part of. Actually, I got my shot in Miami in 1983 because Berenson had bought back Hartford Highlight, and half of the roster from Miami went to play in Hartford for Mr. Berenson. And there was a couple guys that stayed back. I think one of them was Alberti, and the other one was Guernica the second, the front quarter. And they both had a lot of injuries, and they had both had just fall down rebote problems. And so I was playing in Fort Pierce, Ocala at that time, and they just called me up and they said, hey, how would you like to come to Miami full time? I think it was 82. Summer of 82, and that was my shot to go play in Miami, just because Mr. Berenson bought that Fronton and took half the roster. So anyways, what else do we got here? Let me look real quick. I'll try to just stay in the chat. I'm going to kind of dedicate my day to this today, keeping Dave company. I'm trying not to bother him, but we're ready for Game 5. This is one of those special Superfecta games, everybody. Let's see how it goes. We'll talk a little bit more later on.
This is Game 5 singles. Spectacular 9 scoring, serving in the red of post 1, Celaya. Receiving in the blue of post 2, Argoitia. Serve begins Game 5. Perfectly done. Point 1. White of post 3, Oyenard. Out of play, point 3. Green at post 4, Lee Bois. That was in and out of the basket. The 4 will score that point and bring on the black at post 5, Chanika. Two-all winner, point 4. Gil of post 6, Vicente. Point 4. Brown at post 7, Garcia. Point 7, completing round 1 with the Mets in the purple at post 8. Point 8. Double point round begins with post 2, Argoitia. Point 2. Go ahead. Solaya back in post 1. Point 2. Oyenard back in post 3. Two more for the two. Shanika returns in post 5. To our remote, Argoitia on the wood. Winner, point 2. 8 points in possible game, point for Argoitia in post 2. He will serve to post 6, Vicente. Point 6. Brings back the 4, Lee Bois. Off the court, point 4. Post 7, Garcia. Out of play, 7 with the double point. Ahmed's returning in post 8. Eight with that double point, serving to the 1, Celaya. Point 1. Leonard back in post 3. Point one. Returning in post 5, Chanika. Point 5. Argoitia is back in post 2 with 8 points and possible game point. Double point in game to post 2, Argoitia. Now to settle place and show, 4 will serve 1. Four is second, 1 is third. Now we will settle 4th place. 7 will serve 8. Eight is 4th. Winning game 5 in post 2, Argoitia. Second in post 4, Libois. Third in post 1, Celaya. 8 was 4th, the Mets. Two four Quinella 29.20, 2-4 Exacta 48.20, 2-4-1 $2 trifecta 192.80, and the super for a buck 2-4-1-8 476.40. Pick 3 732 784.40. Up next is game 6. This one also a 9-point game and singles.
All right, here we go. Ready, guys? Watch this.
Once again, it is time for Benny to answer all of your questions.
That's awesome, man. I love it. We got music or something playing there? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, geez. All right. All right, so, yeah, we got some questions, man. We got some interest. Some people are inquiring minds want to know. I don't know if I'll get all of them in, but let me see. Somebody here, just chime in. Chris said something about a gold medalist playing at this age. If you're talking about a Tyne, that's his son. So, rethink it. But just get back to me. What about somebody's asking about Yon and Gorka and a YouTube video. I don't know if you're talking about the game that they just played. The games that they play over there, the Winter Series, they're broadcast through the Basque television network. And, they're not shown on YouTube. So you would have to go into that and try to figure out how how to watch it. But Kurt's telling me to tell Canpan that maybe he was a little bit too critical. But listen, I can tell you one thing: very few of these players even know the chat exists. There was the other day I walked in and there was a player. I'll leave him nameless. But he had his phone in his hand. He was sitting in the training room and he had his phone on. And I saw that he was watching the game. And I said, "Hey, what are you doing? Watching the game?" He goes, "No, I'm enjoying the comments from the chat." So I do know that one guy looks at him. I don't know how many guys participate or look at. I know they don't participate, but read the chat. And let's see, why did I move to the backcourt? That's another long story. You could buy the book in a couple years when it comes out. That story is also in there. But I'll give you try to give you a 3-minute condensed version of it. When I was the ball boy in 1980-81, before that, I was 16, 17 around that time. I started playing as a front quarter. And I played maybe 2 years. And when I was 15, I started growing, so they put me in the backcourt. So when I started working as the ball boy in Miami, I was practicing in the backcourt, and I probably played a year and a half to 2 years prior to turning pro as a backcourter. And as I was the ball boy, another funny story about an April Fool's joke that someone played on me, but nonetheless, they came to me one day as I was a ball boy and they said, "Hey, there's a player in Fort Pierce that needs emergency surgery, so we need you to go in and fill in for him." So that's how I got my professional debut. But the problem was he was a front quarter. But they told me, just go play front court, and in a couple seasons or next season when we have an opening, we'll move you back to the back court. And I said, great. So I went over there, did fairly well, went to Fort Pierce, Ocala, Miami. And then I started my career as a front quarter. And then my boss for many years, which was Alfredo Garcia, told me that he didn't want me in the backcourt, that I was a better front quarter, that I was going to go from an A player to a B player, going from the front to the back, and just stay there. And this went on for 10, 15 years. So in 1998, yes, I had very bad knees. My left knee, I had terrible tendonitis in one of my knees. And the doctor told me, hey, you got to figure this out or you're going to have to retire next year. So along all that time, my good friend Juan Ramon Arasate, which is now the player manager down the street, he was always sitting on the bench next to me, and he would tell me, just move to the backcourt, just move to the backcourt. And I said, they won't let me. They're going to cut my salary. They're going to move me to the early games. And they just basically said, no, you can't move to the backcourt. So about mid-year 1998, Alfredo Garcia leaves, and Arasate becomes the player manager. And maybe 15 minutes after he sat down in his chair for the first time, I knocked on the door and I said, well, so when do I start in the backcourt? He made a couple of phone calls. He looked at our contracts and all that stuff. And probably 2 months later, I moved to the backcourt. So that's what kind of prompted it. So I was looking at knee surgery or knee issues that was going to force a retirement in 1999 to being able to play 7 more years until 2005 in the backcourt. So that's that story, but you can still buy the book. There's more in there. Daniel, yes, he did grow up in Largo. His mom and dad, Ron Butler, his father, was a very good amateur back in those days, and he was playing at the North Miami School, and so was Daniel. And then they split up, and Daniel moved back to Largo. I don't think he learned on a racquetball court. That's not true. And then he came back to play in the highlight school a couple years later, and then got his chance to turn pro. Bolivar, yes, I did meet Bolivar. I got to practice with him a couple times when I was a sparring partner for the NAJF teams. He stopped the practice to come and tell me that I was going to be the best player in the world. And then I saw him a bunch of times after that, and I don't know, maybe he changed his mind. I hear the march out. Are we starting the game? I still got a couple things to go. All right, well, we'll pick it up after, what is this, game 5? Game 6. We'll pick it up after this game, guys.
Game 6, singles, spectacular 9 scoring. All points double after round 1. Mets will serve in the red of post 1. Donnell will receive in the blue of post 2. game begins. Point 2. White at post 3, Garcia. Point 3. Green at post 4, Argoitia. High bounce scores for the 3. Black at post 5, Chanika. Another point for the 3. Yellow at post 6, a time. Funny hop, point 3. Brown at post 7, Oyenard. Swung into play by Garcia. Two-all winner, point 7. Completing round 1 with Vicente in the purple of post 8. Over serve, point 8. Double points the rest of the way with the Mets returning in post 1. Two bounce winner for the one. Denell back in post two. That stayed alive. Throwing deep. Again kept in play. Tejada this time. That'll score. Point one. Back in post forward, Argoitia. Open two wall, point four. Chanika back in post five. Point four. Now post six, a time. Point six. The three is back, Garcia. Point six. To seven, Leonard. Out of play, point 6. The 8, Vicente. Two more for the 6. Here's the 2, Donnell. Kept in play from the wood. Tejada. Winner, point 2. Post 1, a Mets. Those points to the 2. Chanika back in post 5. Point 5. The 4, Argoitia. Point 4. Post 3, Garcia. Point 4, 8 points and possible game point for post 4. Serving to the 7, Leonard. Point 7. Brings back the 8, Vicente. Nope, that was 2 bounces. Point 7. Matinee returns in post 6 with possible game point. Matinee will receive with possible game point. Kept alive. Matinee will move back. Throws it deep. But kept alive by Oyenard. Matinee will try again. That one will work. Double point in game to a tie in post 6. 4 is second. A point for third and fourth place, 2 serving 7. Off the court. 2 at third, 7 is fourth. Winning game 6 in post 6, it's Hine. Second in post 4, Argoitia. Third in post 2, Donnell. Fourth in post 7, Leonard. The 4-6 winner at $56, 6-4 exacta, $45.20. $2 trifecta, 642, $309.40. Dollar superfecta, 6427, $2,460 even. Coming up next is game 7. It is singles. This one is a 7-point singles game. Game 7 coming up. This broadcast is brought to you by Better Care of Broward Medical Center. They speak English, Spanish, and French, and they accept all insurance and welcome walk-ins. Visit their primary and family practice at 599 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Better Care of Broward, your local choice for all your medical needs. Today's uniforms are proudly sponsored by IGT and Every, together built to win. Treat yourself or someone special with jewelry from Dolphin Jewelers, right down the street at 52 North Federal Highway in Dania Beach. They buy, sell, repair, and trade all types of jewelry, even custom designs. Mention Highlight for an extra special discount at Dolphin Jewelers. Media coverage is powered by TPI, driven to connect. And for all our Connecticut fans, place your Highlight wagers at mywinners.com. The #1 betting outlet in the state of Connecticut, mywinners.com, where Connecticut bets on Highlight. And a special welcome to our friends on YouTube. Game 7 coming up. It is once again that time. Benny is back to answer each and every one of your questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again. I just got a. No, never mind. I'll drop that. Funny text from one of my referees, but we'll leave that one alone. All right, so we got some questions. We got some stuff to keep us entertained for a little while. All of them long answers, but again, going to try to condense it and make the 3 minutes that I have very effective. The most interesting one is, Joey Bolivar or Mitch. That's been a question. I can tell you right off the bat, Mitch was my arch rival for many years, so even if he is the best player in the world, I will never admit it. Not even after retirement will I admit that he was even close to being the best player in the world. That's just, he gave me a hard time for so many years that I will not ever admit that, even if it was true. Joey, I mean, he was like a mentor to us young American kids. I wanted to snap the costal like him. I wanted to bounce rebotes over people's head like he did. He's a great player. Is he the best ever? It's hard to say. Bolivar, in comparison to both Mitch and Joey, I could say was the most complete player. Joey didn't have a strong right side. He had a fair serve, but he had a great costado. So everybody said he's the greatest. Now, when you're talking winning and losing and statistics, that's a whole different ballgame because they never played against each other, so we don't have data for that. But Bolivar was complete. He had a right side. He had a left side. He had a costado. He had a two walls. He had a great serve. He had everything. He was always in position. He caught well. He called off his partners when he should. Michelena was another one. Michelena was a great player simply because of his effort and because of his professionalism. I mean, this guy, I said this before on another broadcast, when I would show up at 8:30 to start in Game 7, I mean, this guy had already busted out 1,500, sit-ups down, upstairs in the gym. He had to change his shirt when I was arriving because he was so sweaty already and warmed up. So very professional player, the most professional player I've ever played against. But the best, I will never admit that.
Okay, first of all, I think your instinct is right. I don't think Michelena belongs in that conversation. Not that he's not a great player, because he was. And if you're putting Michelena in there, you got to put Ara right there next to him. But as far as Bolivar versus Joey, it depends on who's playing backcourt. If it's doubles, if their backcourter was anybody, Bolivar probably wins. If the backcourter is a superior backcourter, Joey probably wins. Because Bolivar could dominate the point in a way Joey couldn't.
Yes.
So he would grind down a mediocre backcourter.
Right.
With Joey, if Joey had a good backcourter, I think they'd win the partitos more often than not. If they were, same backcourter.
Right.
Clone the guy. They both got the same guy. They got us again. They seem to know.
That's it. Who threw that?
That came right at Benny, by the way.
Who threw that?
There wasn't a window there that would have gone right through the center of Benny's glasses.
Is that a Tyne again? Because I think it was him the last time, too. All right.
But yeah, the same backcourter, I think, the same very good backcourter, Joey. Same mediocre backcourter, Bolivar.
Yeah. Well, a funny story about Bolivar. I heard this story. I don't know how true it is, but in Spain one time he was playing a partido with his brother as his backcourt partner. His brother dropped a couple balls in a row. Bolivar took over. They won the partido. As soon as he walked off the court, he went to the matchmaker and he said, "Don't ever put me with my brother again. I don't want to play with him. He's horrible." So I don't know if that's true. Got a couple other questions. They're pretty good ones. 3 months versus 6. Assis being the GOAT. Who was my favorite front quarter? Backcourt, front court. I did. When I moved to the backcourt, I switched to a backcourt basket. It was pretty natural. I had a smaller version of a backcourt basket, but it was awesome. All right, well, we'll do one more segment after this game, and then I'm going to go downstairs and bring this big bird in for a landing.
All right, nicely done. We'll see you again, or we're done for today? All right. All right, let's get the game going. Game 7 singles, serving in the red of post 1, Garcia. Zelaya will receive in the blue of post 2. Serve starts game 7. Chula, point 1. White of post 3, Donnell. Garcia on the outside tries the Dejada. Point 1. Queen of post 4, Vicente. Overserve, point 4. Black of post 5, a time. There in time, throwing it deep. And scoring, point 4. Yellow at post 6, Oyenard. Six with that point. Brown opposed 7, Libois. Point 6. Completing round 1 with the purple at post 8, Argoitia. One more for the 6. Double point round begins with Celaya in post 2. Two bounces, point 6. Possible game point for Oyenard in post 6, serving to the 3, Danell. Point 3. Returning in post 1, Garcia. Point 3. Two more for the 3, 6 points and possible game point for Danell in post 3, serving to the 4, Vicente. Nice throw, double point in game to post 3. 6 a second, show point 1, serving 4. Four shows. Winning game 7 in post 3, Danell. Second place to the 6, Oyenard. Third place to Vicente in post 4. Game 7 is official. The 3-6 Quinola, $117. 3-6 exacta, $263.40. The $2 trifecta, 3-6-4, $3,943.40 for $2. Up next, it's game 8. It is singles. This one is also a 7-point game. Game 8, 7-point singles game coming up. Here we go, guys. Benny is back again to answer your questions. What do we got?
4 minutes, man. What's going on?
Well, answer the questions quickly.
Yeah, man. I just, they're none of the answers are short. I mean, long. They're all short. No, none of the answers are short. They're all long. Anyways, all right. So we'll make this quickly. Somebody asked about Howie Kalick. Yes, he is still alive. Last I heard, I saw him like a year or two ago. He was here in the audience. He had a walker. He wasn't like, not the Howie we remember from the 70s and 80s, but he is still alive. He's in his early 90s, maybe 92 years old, and yeah, he's doing okay. He's alive. I don't know if he's doing as well as he did earlier in his life. Favorite front quarter for me. Well, remember, I only played front court for 7 years, so I didn't get a chance to play with some of the great front quarters from years before that. But had a lot of success with Recalde. I had, believe it or not, some of you might not believe me, but Hobby was probably one of the most talented front quarters I had ever played with. When he got the serve in, he had a serving issue just like a lot of other players do. But once he got that serve in, man, he could dominate the point. He could make catches. He would save rebotes that back quarter would normally be forced to do. Hobby was very, very talented. And, I mean, I think that's pretty much where it ends. Is everybody else I played well with. I didn't really have like a favorite, but whenever I was paired up with Recalde, I felt like he was my guy. And Arriaga too, Ernesto Arriaga from Miami. He was also a fun guy to play with. Let me see here. What's the next question? Assis being the GOAT. In singles, undoubtedly. In doubles, he was very strong. But remember, when I was the ball boy, think of the roster in 1980-81. I mean, the roster was just phenomenal from top to bottom. Even the early game players, just throw a couple of names, Ituregi, Urasu, I can't, a lot of them escape me now. Iñaki, Oregi, Montilla, Francisco. I mean, the early games was stacked. The late games, Uriarte. I know him as Uriarte. Everybody calls him Cachin. But, yeah, it was stacked. So Assis was not only playing at the highest level at the time, but he was playing against probably the most stacked roster at the time, too. So that was a lot of fun. Let's see. Somebody mentioned something about 6 months as opposed to 3. Dave and I were here talking about some of the financials, and obviously I'm not going to go over it, but we're still losing money here, guys. We're not at a break-even point. We're actually kind of far away from it. But, the question that's always asked of me when I bring up, 6 months versus 3, the question is, like, if you were losing, I know what we're losing. If you were losing that amount of money, would you just double it up would you just double it up? And I was like, every department in this building, and that's part of what Dave and I were talking about how the whole property works. Every department has to justify their expenses and their revenue, and all I can do when they slide the spreadsheet in front of me is just slide it right on back. I can't. I have a hard time justifying losing any money. Let's see, what else do we got? Battle Court team, Smooth Papa putting me putting me against the corner. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask Mr. Goycochea if I could go ahead and just announce the teams. I don't know what the teams are coming from Spain and France, but I do know the Magic City team, and whoever wins our tournament here, which the favorites has to be Yon and Gorka, those teams will participate as well. But the teams that are coming from Spain, I'll tell you who the players are at another sometime next week, and the teams are going to be however they decide to put it together. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Yep. Goico being the best player. Goico is a great player, and I never take anything away from him, but he didn't play on the rosters that Bolivar or Joey did, and, that's the unfortunate part of trying to make that comparison. We don't have that. couple more questions here, but everybody's standing by the edge of the door of the gate, and they want to get this game started. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys today, and I got a little bit of work to do. I'll be here again tomorrow. Dave, go ahead and start the march out. Don't worry about me. I'll just keep rattling here for a second. Somebody wants to get in touch with me. Okay. bbueno@daniacasino.com. I'm out of all the player managers in the history of the sport, I'm really the only one out there, man. You would have never been able to get a hold of a Reggie or a Bea or Beitia or none of those guys. Last question. Here we go. Oh, wait a second. Okay, last question because I do got to go.
Game 8, singles, spectacular 7 scoring. Serving in the red of post 1, Shanika. Danelle receives in the blue of post 2.
Last question. Did I ever consider playing at Tampa Highlight? I don't mean this as a knock, and I don't really want anybody to take it the wrong way, but when I was a young man with a desire to turn pro, whether it was while I was in the Fort Pierce, Ocala circuit, going to Tampa was like getting second place. The goal was always to make it to Miami, and that was the only thing I was focused on. I was actually also never invited to play in Tampa. I was always a Miami guy. All right, kids, enjoy the show. Thanks for spending the day with me. I appreciate it. And, again, thank you for the support.
Up. White of post 3, a time. Point 3, Libois in the green of post 4. Point 4, black of post 5, Garcia. Point 4, yellow of post 6, Vicente. Another point for the 4. Now the brown of post 7, Oyenard. 7 gets on the board. We complete round 1 with the Mets in the purple of post 8. In and out of the basket, 7 scores again. We begin the double point round with post 1, Shanika. Two points for the 1. Danelle back in post 2. Point 2. Post 3, a tie. Point 3. Garcia back in post 5. Point 5. Vicente returns in post 6. Two more for the 5. Libois back in post 4. Two more for the 4. 5 points of possible game points for Libois in post 4, serving to Mets in post 8. That was in and out of the basket. Double point in game for post 4. 5 is second, show point 2, serving 3. Overserve, 3 is third. Winning game 8 from post 4, Libois. Second in post 5, Garcia. Third in post 3, Atine. Four five Quinella, good for 58.20. 4-5 Exacta, 75.40. 4-5-3, $2 trifecta, $568. Up next is our 9th and final game of the Sunday afternoon. It is a singles game, and it is played to 9 points. Game 9 coming up. Last call for betting, the last game. Game 9 singles, spectacular 9 scoring, all points doubling after round 1. Garcia serves in the red of post 1. Donnell receives in the blue of post 2. The game is on. Point 1. White of post 3, a tie. Point 1. Green at post 4, Vicente. Point 1. Black at post 5, Chanika. Point 5. Yellow at post 6, Libois. Point 5. Brown at post 7, Celaya. Two-all winner, point 5. Completing round 1 in the purple at post 8, Immense. Met scores a point for the 8. Double point round begins with post 2, Danelle. Two more for the 8. A time back in post 3. Two more for the 8. Brings back the 4, Vicente. Trula for a Mets, 2 more. 7 points and possible game point for a Mets in post 8. Serving to Garcia in post 1. Double point for the 1. We continue now with Lebois in post 6. Garcia scores for the 1. 7 points for Garcia in post 1 with possible game point, serving to Celaya in post 7. Seven gets on the board with a couple, brings back Chanika in post 5. Point 5. Danilo in post 2. Off the court, point 5. Chinika with possible game point in post 5. Serving to the 3, the time. Double point game to the 5. 8 will serve 1 for place and show. Eight is second, 1 is third. Winning game 9 in post 5, Chinika. Second in post 8, Hametz. Third in post 1, Garcia. Salaya took fourth in post 7. The 5'8 Quinella, $57. 5'8 Exacta, $304.40. Trifecta 5'8 $1,741. The Dollar Super 5817, $3,383.60. And the late daily double 4 and 5, $184.40. And the late pick 4, 6345, 2 of 4, worth $16.40. The pick 3, 345, 501.60, and the carryover in the pick 4, 32.80. That'll do it for this Sunday performance of Dania Highlight. We will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, a special holiday performance of Dania Highlight. 9 games beginning at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock special Monday holiday performance of Dania Highlight. I want to thank you for being with us, especially those of you on YouTube. Thank you so much, and we will see you tomorrow, 1 p.m.